going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Light It Up Sports Podcast. Today we have on class of 2024 Syracuse basketball commit Elijah Moore. Super excited to have him on the show. Last episode we had on Donnie Freeman. We had a great conversation with him about, his upcoming freshman year. We're going to do the same with Elijah, previewing his freshman year, recapping his high school career and stuff like that. But I just want to start off talking about your senior year. So taking a look back at your final year of high school basketball with OSL and then Jelly Fam in the Overtime Elite League. How do you feel it has prepared you for the next level being the ACC?
I mean, it definitely prepared me. Just like, it's different. Like just being in practice, be with the, top players that are also going. High major schools, being with Ian, being with Dell, being with Coach P, who like got a different mind. Um, and then just going up there and playing and like seeing the competition, having to like make sure you play because every game's gonna be a battle. All those things are definitely factors that go into like being able to like preparing me for just being part of the ACC next year.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago, or around a month ago now, you dropped 67 points on your senior night and shot 68% from three. What was going through your mind throughout that game? And has there ever been another game similar to that where your shot is just going in that consistently? And, how did you kind of get in that rhythm that night?
I mean, it was senior night, so and at OSL, senior night you kind of don't, the coach doesn't really sub us out that much. I mean, because our last game, of course, so he kind of like letting us play and letting us be free, I guess you could say. And I kind of just like didn't feel any type of like worry. I just like whatever happens, happens. So I was letting shots go, I was shooting, and as I was shooting, I was just having fun with my game. My dad, he's not at a lot of my games. So the fact that he was there kind of gave me a little fuel to my fire in terms of just, knowing he's there watching my last game. It felt good. So, all those things combined on top of just, having the family there and people that's there to support me. And then once I seen it going in, that I just wanted to do as much as I can.
Yeah. And I'm assuming your phone was blowing up that night. Obviously, overtime posted you a lot of that stuff. Is there anybody that texted you or hit you up after the game that you can remember in particular that was kind of cool? Obviously, like just like them showing you love and stuff.
And not really. I know that there was a lot of people texting my phone, a lot of stuff going on, but I kind of just was excited just so I could, be able to go out with a good win, go out with a good game for myself, and then just enjoy the moment with my family and my teammates. So that's what I was really worried about.
And what parts of your game do you think are a little underrated or people don't first realize you do at a high level when first tapping into watching you play in your highlights and stuff?
I would say my passing, like, people know I could shoot, people know I could score, but like in terms of like my ability to pass and like make plays and break down defenses and understand when someone's running the play a certain amount of time, like my ability to do like those types of things is something that is not really like noticed a lot. And there'll be games where I have like 6, 7 assists, but because I hit a couple threes, like no one really will talk about it. So it's kind of tough, but next year everyone will see my full game.
Yeah. And during the recruitment process, what really separated Syracuse from the other schools that were reaching out to you?
I would say just the coaches, the school, the environment, like feeling like I was gonna be a part of a family, feeling like I was gonna be taken care of in terms of just like being able to get better, being able to be myself. The coaches, being from New York and growing up, where I grew up, kind of something that was important too, because I know that they could relate back to me as a young man. So just those types of things, and then being in the school, seeing the environment, seeing the dome. I just like wanted to be able to play there and win for the people at Syracuse.
Mhm. And what point in your recruitment process did you start leaning more towards Syracuse, or actually, what point did you kind of know in your head that Syracuse is the school that you wanted to end up being committed to?
I mean, I didn't take like all my visits, but from the ones that I did, and just the way that Coach Griff was like recruiting and Coach Beheim, and everyone was talking to me, and the love I got from the players that were there, like Judah and Chris, it felt good, and it was just like one of those things where it's like, all right, well, everyone's reaching out, everyone's showing me love, everyone's telling me how they feel and what they plan on me being able to do next year. So it kind of was a thing that I was like, okay, I might lean towards this.
Mhm. And with the transfer portal being really active right now, I wanted to ask you in particular, How up to date are you when it comes to tracking the guys that Syracuse is reaching out to a portal or guys that are leaving? Like, do you could just kind of see it along with everybody? Like when it goes public, like Munir Hema just entered the portal, I think about 20 minutes ago. Do you see that kind of just on your Twitter feed or your Instagram while you're scrolling, or do you have guys that text you about that, or how does that information be communicated to you?
I mean, sometimes when it's a player that's trying to come into Syracuse, like I'll know about it, and like
Mhm.
coaches will talk to me about it, and like players will hit me like, "Yo, I'm thinking about pulling up." Like Eddie, for example, I seen him, not too long before he was gonna come to Syracuse, and I that's my guy. So just knowing that he was gonna come, made me feel happy. But sometimes, like when they're coming in, I know, and sometimes when people are like leaving or they're deciding to like, enter the portal, it's kind of like I'll just find out on Twitter sometimes or Instagram, depending on the player.
Yeah. And after announcing your commitment to Syracuse and again, kind of just further building that relationship with the coaching staff, what role does Coach Autry kind of see you fitting into next year for your freshman season?
I mean, he told me that he needs me to be ready. He told me he needs me to be ready to play, be ready to lead, be ready to, do what I have to do in terms of putting the ball in the basket and defending and, being myself. So I'm ready for the moment. I'm finished with school now. I finished all my classes. So right now I'm in a point where I'm just kind of just grinding and getting ready for that moment.
Mhm. And Donovan Freeman is the only other freshman that will be stepping on to campus at Syracuse with you next season. Kind of describe the relationship you've already built with him by talking to him a few times and what you're looking forward to most about being able to play with him next year.
I mean, I know Donnie is a great player. Um, he works really hard, and he has size like not a lot of people do, but also the ability to shoot the ball. So it's kind of cool being able to come in with someone that is that skilled. But just knowing that he had the same goals as I do, just being wanting to win, wanting to like change the culture of Syracuse in a certain sense, and knowing that it feels good. So being able to come with him as a freshman is like definitely something that I'm happy about.
Mhm. And you mentioned during your recruitment or as you committed, Syracuse players showing you love like Judah and Chris when you made that decision. But are there any players on the roster in particular that you're looking forward to playing with most next year?
I mean, they're all very talented guys, all guys that have different, positives to their game. Everyone is, some I could learn from everyone on the team, from the players to the coaches. So there's not one in particular player, but just being able to go there and pick people's brains and learn from people in terms of stuff that they do on the court, stuff that they do on off the court. I'm excited about everything, to be honest.
And are there any goals that you have in mind you've already set for yourself when it comes to like personal goals for your freshman year and then team goals that you want to accomplish with the Orange?
I mean, I just want to be able to give, be the best that I can. Like I can only control what I can control. So I know that, the work that I'm gonna put in is gonna pay off regardless of whatever I hope to do. I know that, God's gonna, lead the way. So whatever happens, happens. But I know that as, time goes, I prepare myself and I believe in God, so everything will be all right.
Mhm. And there's another thing that you mentioned earlier, playing alongside Ian Jackson with Jellyfam in OTE this season. He's going to be joining the ACC on an opposing team, being the North Carolina Tar Heels, and you're eventually going to match up against Ian. What are you most looking forward to that game? And have you guys gotten to talk about it? Is there a little bit of a friendly competition going on there for next season?
I mean, it's amazing just to be able to, grow up with someone and watch them be successful and, become, a slightly successful yourself. And then being able to play against them, in the collegiate level is definitely something that's amazing coming from where we come from. So yeah, we definitely have had talks about, going and playing against each other and, whatever, who's gonna win, who's not gonna win. But it's one of those things where I'm definitely just looking forward to the game because I know, it's my brother, but being able to compete against him because I've never actually had to play against him like under the whistle. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And other than the UNC game, are there any teams you're really excited to play in the next few years, or at Syracuse in particular?
Nah. It doesn't matter who's in front of Syracuse, who's in front of me. With Syracuse, I really could care less about who's there, who's not. I just want to go out there, and whoever's there, I just want to win.
Mhm. And last but not least, what can Syracuse fans in general expect from you stepping onto campus next year on and off the court?
Just a positive guy, a good leader, someone that's level headed. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm not gonna be doing things that I shouldn't be. A gym rat, someone that's gonna be a good friend when someone needs it, and just being a big help to the community in terms of doing what I got to do to make sure that Syracuse is becoming a better place day by day.
Yeah. Well, Elijah, I appreciate you for coming on the show. Make sure you guys go check out all of his social medias. I'll be linked below. But excited to watch you play next year. And again, appreciate you for coming on.
No problem. Thank you.